Thank you, Florian. That's beautiful. I wrote to him yesterday. I said, play something cheerful. And so, of course, he came out with something wonderful. Thank you so much. Welcome to this gathering hosted by the Unitarian Universalist Church of Bowling Green. My name is Janine Grossmeyer. I'm one of the members here. Whether you're here in person or joining us online via YouTube, we're very glad you're joining us. Before I go any further, before I forget, if you have one of these handy devices, please set it to silent or turn it off. And I do that too. We are a welcoming congregation, so please know that however you identify, wherever you come from, whoever you love, you are welcome here. Our Sunday services are different each week. As you can see, today is quite different. We've moved all the chairs around and we've added a maypole in the center. Today is May 1st, Maypole, Beltane, and there are a couple other names for this holiday. May Day, yes. So we'll be celebrating Earth Day. Earth Day was technically a week ago, but we're going to celebrate it today along with all of our spring festivals. And Matt, could I have the next slide? There, here we go. Spring festivals. We do have some special festivals throughout the year, and there's kind of a little circle around the year. One more slide, please, Matt. And this is where we are. We're right at the changeover from April to May. Spring is really going. As Christina told me, it's the first day of summer in some traditions. This is the beginning of the warm season, and of course the flowers are really out. And I think we may have seen the last snowfall for the year, it being Kentucky weather, and probably the last freeze. Next slide. And so today, as part of our May Day celebration, we will be honoring the seventh principle, one of the principles of Unitarian Universalism. We affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of life, of all existence, of which we are a part. And we'll be talking more about that as the service progresses. And though we each walk our own path, here in this place and now at this time, we will journey together as one community. Part of our sense of community comes from some of our traditions and rituals, this being one of them here at this church. At most Unitarian Universalist gatherings, they also light the flaming chalice. Today, our chalice will be lit by Christina. Sometimes the flame goes out and needs to be rekindled, and life does not.
And sometimes your match breaks on you too.
And yet we persevere. Yes.
There we go.
Please sing Rise Up, O Flame, hymn 362. Thank you. Our opening words this morning are going to be shared by Leah. This is my prayer, number 495 by Black Elk. The words will be on the screen and you can read along in the gray hymnal if you like. Thank you.
Hear me, 4 quarters of the world, a relative I am. Give me the strength to walk the soft earth. Give me the eyes to see and the strength to understand. Look upon these faces of children without number, that they may face the winds and walk the good road to the day of quiet. This is my prayer. Hear me.
Thank you, Leah. And we will now sing together. Our hymn this morning, opening hymn, is going to be Blue Boat Home, right? Yep. And we have song leaders to help us along. Stand, rise, in body or spirit as you wish. And what's the number?
1064.
1064, it's in the teal hymnal. Today we will have a sharing moment, and it's going to be called Metamorphosis. And I guess I'm going to be the one sharing it. It's a guided meditation, and I'm inviting all of us here today to imagine and move along with me as you wish, you don't have to, that you are going to metamorphosize, do I have too many syllables in that one? From an egg to a caterpillar, to a chrysalis, to a butterfly. And so we're going to do the life cycle of the butterfly. Next slide, please. Thank you. So imagine, if you will, that you are an egg. You're small. You're inside an egg case. Not really a shell like a bird, but an egg case that keeps you cozy. So you've got your head tucked. You're kind of all curled up on yourself, head down, arms around yourself. And there you wait on a leaf that your mother chose specifically for you. And when the time is right, when the sun is warm and the days are long enough, out you come. Can you wiggle out of your egg? It might take a little pushing. Out you come. You are now a caterpillar. And what do we know about caterpillars? Anybody ever read a book about a caterpillar? Very hungry caterpillar. Excellent. Now, in that book, they ate all kinds of things, but we're real caterpillars, imaginary. And so we're going to eat leaves. Although there is one species that actually eats the turtle shells. That's what they eat. But we're going to eat leaves like most caterpillars do. And so we're going to munch. And then we ate that leaf, so we're going to crawl a little bit. Now you taste with your feet, so you know if what is good to eat is tasty just by what you're stepping on. Oh, there's more leaf. Eat, 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 eat. Now some of you may want to eat from the edge of the leaf, the outside. Some of you are actually going to burrow inside the leaf and eat from the inside out. It depends what kind of butterfly you decided you wanted to be. Did anybody pick a specific butterfly? Just wondering? Monarch. A monarch, very famous butterfly. In fact, that's what we see up there. Anybody else? Swallowtails, yes. Some of them like to eat dill or fennel, like licorice. Fritillary butterflies, they like to eat violets. Every butterfly has a special kind of leaf. So, eat your leaf, eat some more. But you know what? Just like many of us found after the pandemic, our skin is getting a little tight. Things are not fitting the way they used to. So, caterpillars got it easy, though. We are going to molt. We are going to shed our skin, just like snakes. Okay, so now you're going to wiggle and stretch and split that skin open, and then out you crawl, and now you can be as big and large as you want. No more clothes. It's like sweatpants again. All right, here we are. But you know what? We are caterpillars, and we are still very hungry. Eat some more. Munch, 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 munch. Munch, munch, munch. Eat some more. Molt again. Eat, molt, eat, molt. We're going to do that 5 times. A lot of caterpillars molt 5 times. Sometimes they change their clothes. They change their colors as they get older. The very little ones, this is for the swallowtail. The very little ones, they're black on the edges and white in the middle, and you know what? They look just like bird poop. And nobody bothers them. As they get bigger, the next time they come out, they're mostly black with some little white stripes, and then they add yellow stripes the next time they molt. And finally, they're these beautiful yellow and black and white striped caterpillars. But it takes them 5 times to get the clothing they want. They need a style fashion consultant, you know? And so here we are. We have molted 5 times. We have eaten and eaten and eaten, and we are now large, strong, and no longer very hungry caterpillars. Okay, what's next? The big step. We're going to crawl off the plant that has nurtured us and nourished us all of our life. We're going to go find another place, someplace new. We're out into the big world. Some of us, some caterpillars, will find a stick to climb up. Others will burrow into the soft earth where it's cool and moist. And then, this comes the fun part, they're going to spin, well, if you're a moth, you spin a cocoon. If you're a butterfly, we call it spinning a chrysalis. But you create your own safe shell to be inside. And so you spin that and you wrap yourself in it. So can you wrap yourself in your cocoon or your chrysalis? Now, some caterpillars, when they get to this point, they climb up that stick. I'm not going to ask you to do this one, but you hang upside down by your feet. You hang on with the back feet there, and your head comes down and kind of curves up like a little J shape. That's a J shape. That's what monarchs do. And they don't have a picture of that. So if you were really feeling this whole guided meditation, you would be hanging upside down by your feet. Okay, we're not going to do that. But we are in our cocoon or our chrysalis, comfortable, safe, and yet things are changing. We are changing. Everything about us is changing. We are dissolving. All of us that we knew is shifting and moving, and now it's all going to reform. So we're putting ourselves back together piece by piece. And we stay in that shell until the weather is right, the sun is warm. Maybe we stay there all winter. Maybe just for a few short weeks in the summer. When we come out, are you ready to come out? Imagine you are now a butterfly. Your 6 stubby feet that you had as a caterpillar are now graceful and long. You have long legs. You can still taste with your feet, though. And you're not like long and tubular. No. Well, you're still kind of long and skinny like a caterpillar. But on your back, you have wings. Can you make your wings out? Okay. So we have crawled out of our chrysalis, out of our cocoon. Your wings are a little weak at first. So spread your wings. Gently let them open. Let the sun touch them. Let your blood course through your wings and make them stronger and stronger. And finally, the air lifts you, and up you go into the sky. You are a butterfly, and you are flying free. Now, some of us will find wonderful flowers to land on and sweet nectar to drink. Some of us may find a partner, and we will join with them and create new life. And if you are a mother caterpillar or mother butterfly, you're going to seek out that special leaf just for your children, and you will lay your eggs there. And the whole cycle will start all over again. And so that is a metamorphosis of a butterfly, caterpillar, egg, chrysalis. We usually just call them butterfly, but all 4 parts of their life cycle are essential and all are important. Our own lives, maybe you've gone through something that, maybe you've left a place where you knew things, gone off somewhere else. Maybe you've changed yourself radically and now you are totally different than the person you used to be. Maybe you have opened your wings and flown. And I encourage you to keep flying and keep enjoying the beautiful day and the flowers and be a butterfly again. Thank you for listening to our metamorphosis sharing moment. And we are now going to go into a different kind of meditation. It's going to be a silent meditation. I'm going to ring the bowl. The sound will carry us into the silence. After a few moments or a minute or two, Florian will play Spirit of Life, and we will sing that song, which is in your hymnal. Should be in the words in the back of your book. And it'll be also up on the screen. So let us now enter into a moment of silence. And I believe, yes, Susan, are you ready? Susan will be leading us in a shared reading, number 551, in your gray hymnal. The words are also going to be up on the screen.
Earth, teach me stillness as the grasses are stilled with light.
Earth, teach me suffering as old stones suffer with memory.
Earth, teach me caring as parents who secure their young.
Earth, teach me courage as the tree which stands all alone.
Earth, teach me limitation as the ant which crawls on the ground.
Earth, teach me freedom as the eagle which soars in the sky.
Earth, teach me resignation as the leaves which die in the fall.
Earth, teach me regeneration as the seed which rises in the spring.
Earth, teach me to forget myself as melted snow forgets its life.
Earth, teach me to remember kindness as dry fields weep with rain.
Thank you, Susan. And this is the time usually when we introduce our guest speaker. We don't have a guest speaker today, but Christina has a special sharing time for us.
Good morning. So as a community, we are blessed with so many artists, and one of my favorite things about this church is all of our beautiful stained glass. And as you can see on the 6 windows, we have different emblems and symbols for other faiths, for all our faiths represented. However, we realized that we were missing one, and that was for us pagans and Earth Center folks. And I reached out to Jean recently, and she commissioned us a piece. So if you would like to share it, Jean? Yeah. So, let me hold it? Okay. very careful. So we decided on a spiral because one of the symbols in paganism and Earth Center is the idea as going back to the earth, to others. The blue and the green, of course, representing the earth, the sky, all that, earth, sky, the water. Thank you. And, all of this. So this will be hanging outside in the 3 windows outside there. And so I'd like to thank you to Jean Valley for creating us a new one. Thank you, Jean. And Jean told me this morning she's working on another piece, so I'm excited to see her new chalice that will also be hanging out there as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. And of course, also the Four Seasons trees behind there. It's another beautiful piece. So honoring Earth, Earth Day, May Day, Easter, springtime, here we are to celebrate and honor the Earth. And next slide, please. Thanks. Unitarian Universalism actually has a special ministry dedicated just for that. Ministry for Earth, UUMFE. Right? Yeah. And their motto, respect life, restore earth, renew spirit, and they seek environmental justice, beloved community, and the flourishing of all life. And so it's such an important part of our mission that they've created a special ministry just for that. Next one. So a little bit of where did that come from? When did that start? In 1984, which to me doesn't sound that long ago, but it was what? Almost 40 years ago. We added the 7th principle to our list of principles, the one about that I read at the beginning. You want to read with me? Read everybody together? A 7th principle, to affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. And that corresponds with the environmental movement, Earth Day, all of that. So 1984, almost 40 years ago. 5 years later, discussion started about how to make that more central to members, to actually do something about this principle we had adopted. 2 years later, we are Unitarian Universalists. It took us a little while. There were committee meetings and discussions and more committee meetings. You know how that goes. The 7th Principle Project was formed, and the first edition of the Green Sanctuary Handbook, so tips on how to make your church building and your lands more green, more environmentally friendly and ecologically conscious. That was in 1991. So that was, 31 years ago, right? Am I doing the math right? That just doesn't seem like it's been that long, but okay. Yep. Next slide. And then a couple years after that, 10 years after that, the 7th Principle Project decided to make Green Sanctuary sort of a whole accreditation project. So not just a handbook, but you could go through a whole bunch of steps and get accredited and officially recognized as Green Sanctuary. And we as a church said that would be a good idea, and so we're sort of working on that. We're not very official though, so we're just making steps as we do them. And then in 2005, they changed its name and took on the name Ministry for Earth, and that is their symbol there, where the chalice has an earth symbol behind the flame. And so that is something that UUA and many UU churches and congregations are involved with, and something we can do here at our own group. 2006, they were instrumental in the Statement of Conscience on the threat of climate change, and then 2015, Action of Immediate Witness. And I think we did this too. We took pictures of holding up the banners, which I could not find to put up there, so that is some other congregation, but we did it here. Yeah, yes, okay. So that's some of the history of how UUA and Unitarian Universalists have been involved with taking care of our planet. Okay, next slide. And these are 3 of its kind of smaller groups that do things. There's Young Adults, Environmental Justice Practitioners Network, and UU Climate Action Network. If you want to get involved, look at that. It says UUMFE, get involved. So that's an easy way to get onto their website and get their updates and their emails and meet with other people and get more active on that. All right, so I encourage everybody to think about that, and not just here at church, of course, but in our own lives. What can we do to reduce, reuse, recycle, all those good things that we've probably heard about for a while now. Okay, and next slide. Here at our own church, we do have some of these things happening outside. We have a food garden on the Hugel Mounds. Some years more than others. We have an herb garden right outside the kitchen. It could be, I weeded a little bit yesterday. I uncovered a sage that survived the winter. And we're looking for people to sort of take that on as an ongoing project. So if you have the gardening itch, you like to get your hands in the dirt, but you maybe don't have a place at your own space to do that, you're welcome to garden here at church and grow tomatoes, peppers, herbs, lavender, all that kind of stuff. We have pollinator gardens around our buildings and out in the meadow down there. The meadow is the area where we've let the grass grow a little tall. Oh, we were here yesterday and we saw turkeys down in the meadow. Yes, so that's exciting. And of course we have trees around us, and they provide a whole nother kind of ecosystem and habitat for some of these butterflies we were just pretending to be. And we work on reduce, reuse, recycle. We have paper recycling out there, and other things that we do. So, and if you have ideas or suggestions on how else we might do this sort of thing, please say something, do something, tell other people, and we'll all work together to make it happen. Okay, next. There was a picture there of, we were down at Lost River Cave, and we had a little display out last year, Michelle. Erica designed it. Oh, thank you. Okay, great. Yeah. Great. So it was 3 people helping hold the earth, right? Yes, very nice. Yeah, some of the stuff down there was more scarecrowy, but we went for the eco. All right, thank you. Thank you for bringing that picture back up. Okay, next. So we're not the only ones, obviously, doing this sort of work. And what we're going to do now, you may have been noticing that in the middle of the room. And I'm going to invite everybody now to enter into a dance as you wish, or not. And this, there are many dances you can do around a maypole. Some of them get kind of complicated. We're not going to do that here, okay? And we're actually going to take the ribbons and put them more to the center. The dance we're going to do comes to us from Russia, actually, the edges of Russia. And there was a group of people after Chernobyl. The rain was contaminated and the trees were dying. And so a dance grew and called the elm dance, and that's what we're going to do today. The elm, of course, is a kind of tree. That's an elm tree. Many of our own elms in this continent died off from Dutch elm disease, but it's a beautiful tree, and there are other varieties around the world. And the music we're going to be listening to is Latvian. And so we're going to try this, and I hope people join in, okay? So if you would like to be part of this elm dance, I invite you to stand and come forward. We're going to kind of push the ribbons into the center so we have a little bit more room. And it's simple, and if you want to watch us do it and then decide whether or not you want to take part, that's fine. But if I could have 2 or 3 of you join me here. Okay. And this is new for them too, so you get a sense of what it really is. For the brain. Yeah, and hold hands if you want, or you can link arms, you can just stand. It depends on your level of comfort. Okay, all right. So we're going to take steps in front. 4 steps to the right. That's why I do. 1, 2, 3, 4.
tas dos tev mamulīte, kā tavs dēviņš nenomirs, atbildes nav. Man dosi mamulīte par mūžīgu dzīvošanu. Ko man dosi mamulīte par mūžīgu dzīvošanu. Izplauks zelta bilīte un karīta mīkla skan. Izplauks zelta bilīte un karīta mīkla skan. Ko tas dos tev mamulīte, kā tavs dēliņš nenomirs. Ko tas dos tev mamulīte, kā tavs dēliņš nenomirs. Atbildes nav. Tikai vējā no trīs ozolīšu vīrs. Vējā no trīs ozolīšu vīrs. Tikai koki savīkšas uz rudenī. Koki savīkšas uz rudenī. Atbildes nav. Visi mani joki, visi joki gludani. Visi mani joki, visi joki gludani. Atbildes nav. Tikai kājās drošāk savu zemi mīt. Kājās drošāk savu zemi mīt. Tāpēc, draugi, kā man klājas, it neviens lai neuzzin. Tāpēc, draugi, kā man klājas, it neviens lai neuzzin.
What if you could get rid of your kitchen garbage, like a push in the button? Hey, I'm Matt from Pila, and I want to introduce you to my friend Lomi.
So I encourage you to think of the trees and how we can help them and heal them as they can heal our planet. They are marvelous collectors of carbon, stores of carbon, and of course they produce the oxygen we need to breathe. So if we plant more trees, Earth will be better for it. and we will probably enjoy that. Their shade, their beauty, and all the wonderful birds and life they support. Today was, as you could see, a festival. We don't normally do long sermons, so that part is done. As part of our responsible search for truth and meaning, we encourage thoughtful discourse. If you'd like to talk about what we've done here today or anything about, well, anything, because we're Unitarian Universalists, we can talk about whatever we want to. But we usually start with the topic that was presented today. And if you'd like to do that, to join in the discussion, we'll be meeting in the fellowship hall after the service. At this time, it is time for us to collect the offertory. This congregation, the work we do, is supported by the voluntary generosity of all who contribute. The offering is a sacrament of the Free Church. You may place your donation in the plates on the way out, on the side of the door. You can use the QR code, and of course you can send a check to our church office at any time. And Florian will be playing for us while we do this. Thank you. Of our congregation and our community. We also want to thank those who made this service possible today. Christina, who came in yesterday and helped do this. My daughter Irene, who untangled the ribbons from a couple years ago. And of course, Susan, who's doing the reading, and Leah, who did a reading too, and Florian, of course, our musician, and the man behind the curtain, Matt. Do you want to come out and take your bow? And everyone who does everything to make our church happen. So thank you all for making today possible. Real quick, we have a little bit of community news. If you're interested in what's involved with church membership, you have a chance today to actually talk right now to the people. They'll be meeting in the library at 12:15, so there's a little bit of chance to get a break, maybe get something to drink, and then go to the library, and you'll talk with the membership team about what it means to be a member here at UUCBG and what's involved and what you can expect. If you would, other news is sent out via email twice a week. If you'd like to do that, you can sign up for our email list or write to the church office and they'll get you subscribed. And there's information on our bulletin boards. So thank you for that. And also, of course, website, Facebook page, that kind of stuff. Okay. And I think that's it for community news. Oh, Michelle has something.
So actually, there are quite a few things coming up. Next week, we will have a very special speaker from Kujan, Russ Funk. Is that right, Diane? And so he's coming from Louisville, so I encourage everyone to come that day. And on the 15th, after the service, we will have our congregational meeting. If you'd like to stay, we're going to provide a light lunch, so let us know. We will be voting on our board of directors and our nominating committee, and we will have the news of of what's coming up and reviewing the past. So please mark that on your calendar.
Thank you. And that kind of is what I was just talking about, so, okay, right. Okay, we're now going to have a reading, again by Susan, The Peace of the Wild Things. It's by Wendell Berry. Do you remember the number? Matt, could you tell me what number that's supposed to be? Sorry. Oh, it's not in there. Oh, no. You're going to read it from that. There you go. Sorry.
Okay, this is going to be tricky. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
At this time, we're going to bid farewell to those who have joined us online via YouTube. We hope you found this service meaningful, and we invite you to join us again. Be well and go in peace.